Hey everyone, how you doing? This is Amon Green, Green Bay Packers all-time leading rusher, and you're watching Packers Total Access Live, your daily source for Packer content. Go Pack, go!
What's up, guys? Welcome into Packers Total Access post-game show. My name is Clayton. You can check us out on Packernet.com. Find me on Twitter at Packers_access. Joined alongside Jacob in Wisconsin, Tim in Green Bay. We got Emilio fresh cut. Emilio over there in Tennessee to talk about this Packers victory, 27-18. The Packers defeat the Cincinnati Bengals at Lambeau Field. I thought this was a fun game to watch. Let's just go around the horn here real quick, get everybody's take. In terms of how you thought the game went. Let's start with you, Emilio. We haven't talked to you yet today. What'd you think about the game? Did you get to watch it all? Did you have to bootleg?
No, I was doing stuff in between, right? But great game to watch. Matthew Golden, I was having a blast cheering for him, and dude was turning up. Defense was playing well. Yeah, the superstars are going to get theirs, but it's I thought it was a great game all around. A couple mistakes here and there, couple no holds, but we'll get there.
Yeah, I thought Zach Taylor made a great adjustment there in the second half, Tim. Just kind of taking what the Packers were giving them and then working the out routes. You could tell that the Packers were going, you're not beating us over the top. So if you're going to beat us, you're going to have to nickel and dime us to death. And they attempted to do that, and Jamar Chase got his. But what did you think about it, Tim?
Yeah, no, that's a great point because, that opening drive of the third quarter really ate up most of that quarter and kept our offense off the field. So I think they did make some adjustments. But overall, I'm happy. It's a dub, right? I don't care what the final score is. Pretty, ugly, beautiful, anything in between. We'll take the dub. That's what we needed coming out of the bye. Shout out Carrington Valentine hitting the gritty on Jamar Chase. That was always fun to see. Overall, and some pleasant surprises on that O-line. Big shout out to Jordan Morgan, had himself a ball game today. We saw improved play from Elton Jenkins. I thought Banks looked good as well. So good team win, and tip of the cap to Josh Jacobs on the ground today, putting in that work. Got to love it.
Since you brung it up there, Tim, I'm going to start with that, and then we'll come back to Jacob, get his take. You mentioned Jordan Morgan. I don't know if you guys seen this or not. Now, listen, I can't play it. I can't play it on loop, okay? But I want you to watch. It's going to be a duo right run. And watch Jordan Morgan, how patient he stays on the double team and last-second releases. I'm telling you, he gets to the second level like that, blasts the linebacker out of the way. This is that touchdown run by Josh Jacobs. I'm going to play it one time through. You know what to look for here. I zoomed in too. Look at that. Seal it. Get out there. Little shove. We're off to the races. One more time. Look. Seal. See right there? So you see him. He sealed it. Really, really patient. Waited the last second. Got a hand on 44. And that's what sprung Josh Jacobs. So you love to see that, Jacob. Obviously, Jordan Morgan having a little bit better day today than he has in the past. What was your take on the game, man?
Yeah, we did a lot of things really, really well, and some things that we need to clean up. I think, Love, for the most part, looked like he was kind of getting into his groove, and then we just had that one kind of boneheaded play where he should have just thrown that ball away, take the easy three, which at the time we didn't know would be an easy three, quote unquote, because we haven't seen Haversnacker or whatever his name is kick the field goal. But as the game progressed, I think that if we could obviously look back and have that kind of, crystal ball, we could say, oh, well, let's maybe try that. So I think that Matt Golden comes out and shows again that he is the real deal, and we got to start getting him the ball a little bit more. I think the defense made a statement here and there, and then we just have to find a way to capitalize on certain situations, and we could be a dominant team. I think this is still a really good win, but there's definitely a way that we could have made this look a little more clean, easy, a little more swag, kind of like Emilio when he walks into the club. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Everybody stops and they look at him, and he's just, yeah.
Yeah, I think you said it perfect, Jacob, because to me, this is the best case scenario. You didn't blow the team out, obviously, right? You had a good game. I thought everybody played pretty well. But you still got plenty of teaching tape, right? That the coaches can go in there and go, we need to get better at this, and that, right? So I think it's kind of a win-win in that regard. One more clip here. We'll be careful. We'll play it just a couple times. You mentioned Matthew Golden. He just out there snatching ankles, boys. Look at this right here. Ready? Yoop. My goodness.
That dead leg was mean. That was really mean. Or DN too, right? 99. They dropped Trey Hendrickson a couple times, and then Trey gets hurt. Said, all right, we'll drop 99.
I like how 99 just kind of stands up straight. Watch him. He goes, Well, sure, crap.
Yeah.
He's gone. I mean, literally, it was not even a quarter of a second before this frame right here, he had him squared up, and he's already separated by 5 yards, you know? So Matthew Golden, he's going to be a dog, man. Really, really excited about how he's coming along. Another thing on that deep pass where Jordan Love hit Matthew Golden in the first half. Here was
I remember that dime piece throw from Jay Money.
Oh, man. So this is the next gen stats GPS tracking of it. Okay. So Matt LaFleur breaking out an empty chips dagger strike. Now, what do I mean by empty chips? Empty chips is when you go empty, but you put the tight end and the running back right on the edge of the line. So it's almost like the T is actually playing tight end as well. And the design is chip and release. So they just call it empty chips. Now, what's a dagger let's start with a strike concept. A strike concept's on one side of the formation, deep route. Other side, you bring a crosser or a dig across the formation. That's called strike. Dagger is when you've got on one side of the formation, the one runs a dig while the two stretches the defense vertically, which you'll see 83 Savion stretching the defense vertically, Malik Heath working underneath. And this is the throw to Matthew Golden as you'll see it unfolding. I mean, he puts it, that's good coverage. And Jordan puts it in a perfect spot. And Matthew Golden with the late hands, if you guys go back and watch the replay, if I show it, we'll definitely get dinged for it. But just thought that was really cool. We broke out an empty chips, strike, dagger, strike, however you want to call it. Really, really nice play design there by Matt LaFleur, and perfectly thrown ball, like Tim said, to Matthew Golden. Did you see that throw, Emilio? I mean, it was on
dime. Yep. No, I was screaming. Absolutely. Matthew Golden was having his coming out party. I was happy for him, dude. And the late hands, like you said, just give him a shot. It was 3rd and 5 or something, and we'll take that. Absolutely.
The footwork on that play was incredible too by Golden. He basically kind of did a hop step, kind of a jump stop to get 2 in the ground when he had possession. So, him stepping to the sideline was irrelevant. It was just a great throw and great catch.
It was literally right in front of Matt LaFleur too, Tim, right? Like Matt was just standing there like, yep, check, put that one on the board. All right, double circle that one. Get the next play call in. Let's go.
Love it.
And by the way, boys, we got our next Romeo Doubs gift. He's giving us gifts every single week. The Packers just tweeted this one out.
Oh, there we go.
Is that not great, boys? Look at
I'd already sent that to you guys like an hour ago. Come on now. They're trying to steal it.
So the Packers stole it from let's They hacked our personal tag line.
Yeah, that's a bad idea, actually.
Love it. So let's go to the chat. Those chats you got marked there. Let's hit those real quick, Jacob, if you don't care, man. Let's start with that initial PFF grades that you got marked there, man.
Sure. We got Eldegrim coming in saying 2 top 5 initial grades for PFF. Golden at a 90.9. Jacobs at an 82.3. Our guy, Mr. Jordan Throws Dimes Love, 74.6. Mr. Micah, I'm going to scare everybody in your mama, 76.1. And Jordan Morgan at 73. The bust, do I dare say, at 73.1.
Love it. What do y'all think about that? Do you feel like that's Tim, do you feel like that's pretty accurate to what you've seen today? Do you feel like Golden deserves to be graded elite, man? How cool is that, dude?
I think it's awesome. I mean, you talk about a few really elite plays that he made today. And I think it's fair. We got to get him that tutter, though. Got to get him in the end zone at some point. But I think a 90s might be a little generous, but I'll take it, man. The golden child is the real deal. I think the grades across the board look good. Surprised Jordan was graded as low as he was, honestly, but probably the boneheaded pick didn't help his grading there. But good to see Josh Jacobs grading in the 80s. This is what we were talking about. And then again, the surprise of the day, Jordan Morgan on the right side of the line just finally put it together and was an absolute stud out there today for us.
Yeah. If you guys would hit that like button for us, hit subscribe, click that bell icon so you're notified when we go live here in the future. Let us know in the comments. Do you agree with those PFF marks? All right, let's talk a little Tucker Craft for a minute, boys. I put this little shindig together here. First of all, Tim, we now have this in the storage, sir. Anytime you want to go to that one, look at this poor cat. That's not, you talk about silly body. Like, you're not supposed to look like that on the ground. Literally, for everybody on the podcast.
Popped when Tucker crossed the goal line. Folded him.
This guy looks like he's doing yoga, man. He went around his elbow to touch his ass. This is unbelievable right here. So, and then I put together a video. We got to be quick with it. You know the drill here, right? Check this one out. Look at him just riding along. Watch this guy spin. Look at the turnstile.
Oh, wow.
See the shot he put on 29 there, too?
Unbelievable, Tim.
29 trying to come over and do something, and Tucker just flicks him off like a booger, you know?
And he just like left his feet too. You know what I mean? He didn't even. He wasn't like trying to run through the dude. He left his feet, just hit X, and was like, "I'm getting to the end zone, man. I'm diving for that thing."
J. Cole hit the nail on the head. See, look like he was break dancing, right?
Yeah.
Look at my man right here. Unbelievable, dude. Unbelievable. So what y'all think of Tucker Kraft, man? Obviously, they didn't get him as involved as you would have wanted them to, but at the same time, man, when his numbers called, he was targeted twice. Both of them he caught 43 yards and a touchdown, man. Tucker Kraft. He's just there when you need him. You know, he's there when you need him.
Absolutely. He was a dog. He really was.
I mean, we talked about how he can kind of make like acrobatic plays or whatever, and that's another example where they just kind of, I don't want to say it was like a dump off or nothing like that, but he took the ball and I was like, there's no way he's going to score. And then all of a sudden he makes a couple of quick moves and he's so much faster and accelerates a lot quicker than I think I hate comparing him to like Gronk or anybody because like it's a hard comparison to make to modern day tight ends because he's really bulky, but he's very, very agile. And all of a sudden he just makes like 2 or 3 moves and you're like, oh, I almost swore. You're like, oh, darn, he's going to score, you know?
Right.
And he just, all of a sudden, it seems like he knows if it's within 5 yards, he has no problem just turning his body into a human meat missile. And the only way that where he lands is in that goal line, man. It's crazy. I love it.
And Jacob Tucker.
No, it's just, that's all you
Exactly.
need. Sometimes that's all you need, guys.
Tucker was 10th on the list with 57 out of the 61 snaps, 62.9, 59 pass, a 37 pass blocking, but he had a 66 run blocking. So I think it was that one where Love got sacked or whatever. They probably got him on that one, but not bad.
Goose in the chat says Jordan is amazing. Go Pack Go. Golden breakout game. Good to see you in here, Goose. Hopefully you're doing well, buddy. Let's go to QB1. And Tim, if you'll give me some kind of screen grab here, let's see what Jordan Love has to say. He's at the podium. Again, guys, I've got the volume all the way up. You may have to crank your TVs up. I'll try to fix it on the podcast, but here's QB1 at the podium.
The explosive plays, with the go ball down the sideline and then that, last play there to him. But, I think he's a guy that we're going to keep trying to, get going and keep finding ways to get him the ball because he's done some really good things. And it's always about just trying to spread it around. But he's definitely a very explosive playmaker. And, just got to keep finding ways to get to him.
So through 5 games, do you feel like you guys have been explosive enough, or you think you need to get Watson into this mix over the next couple months to be as explosive as you need to be?
Oh, man, I think there's definitely still room to make even more bigger plays. I think we've done a good job of hitting some of them. But I think, like you said, you had Christian Watson back to the mix, and, I think we can do some real damage. So we're always trying to find ways to create those explosive plays and push the ball down the field and just put that pressure on the defense. But, you add another speed guy like Christian, we're going to open this thing up. But I still think there's just more plays we can hit on.
Jordan, adding to that, you guys are average today 7 yards a play. I'm using the term only loosely, but only 27 points. Are those big plays what's missing from piling up, 34, 40, those bigger numbers?
Yeah, I think that, and I think just finding ways to score. When I think we did a great job of moving the ball, the whole game, and I think we just got to keep finding ways to score when we cross, the 40, 30-yard line. So I think we'll look at it and find out what's missing there. But I think, continue to hit more explosive plays. We'll do that. But I think just, if we're going to keep moving the ball the way we're doing and putting these long drives together, we just got to find ways to come up with touchdowns instead of field goals or, having the interception early in the game. But just got to find ways to score touchdowns.
This is the first game you guys are starting 5 offensive line, start and finish the game all year. Is that something you felt more comfortable with, and can that help you guys get more explosive on offense too?
Definitely. I think that's the name of the game is trying to stay healthy and get your best players out there. So, having those guys out there, I felt very comfortable. I felt good with whoever we had in there, but, having those guys, you can feel the difference. So, that's going to be a big key is going forward is trying to find ways to stay healthy and, get our body back throughout the week because, bye week's gone. So, we're in it for the long haul now. So just got to keep finding ways to do that.
All right, there's QB1. We'll go ahead and get out of that. Obviously, it's kind of hard to hear there. I wish they would fix that. But I was listening to the college football press conferences after the games yesterday was an awesome day of college football. it just pisses me off how you can hear everybody just fine. Everything's good. Get to the Packers, and it's like, yeah. Anyway, what'd y'all think about what he had to say there? Somebody in the chat was talking about the moves he was making. Jacob J. Cole here says Love was out there breaking ankles too, man. Is that not true? Like that dude, especially on that 1/3 and short play where he scrambled around the backfield, just made something happen and ended up picking first down. Now, I wish he would have lowered his head. The one time I would want him to lower his head, pick up that third down or that first down on third down there toward the end of the game. But at the same time, as I said it out loud, I also thought, how many times have we seen him lower his head and everybody crucifies him for it? You know what I mean? So.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about it before the game started that he had the over-under of, I believe it was 8 yards rushing, and he crushed that within the first about 2 minutes in the game. Emilio sent it in the group chat, and I think so did Clayton, followed up, and I tallied it up. He had 3 rushes for 14 yards at least in the first drive alone, and then he ended up using his legs throughout the first half and into the second half as well. And honestly, when he starts doing that, he's really dangerous, guys. Like he's not just I think that's a lot of people tried to say it was an excuse last year what he played when they said they couldn't move around, he couldn't be mobile. You see the difference is pretty stark because he can actually slide up in the pocket even when things are breaking down. It makes the offensive line look a lot better when he can just kind of slip through and just, even if it's for a gain of 4, 5, 6 yards. I agree, Clayton. If he would have maybe just decided it was a heads up plan, the fact that he wanted the clock to run out, but at the same time, if he just would have probably lunged forward, I think he easily gets that first down, and then we have a whole different circumstance there. But all in all, obviously minus the interception, I think that he played pretty darn good.
Yeah, he finished the game with 7 carries for 26 yards, Tim. Love is completely healthy this year, man. You're seeing it every single week. Come scrambling with the football, man.
Yeah, absolutely. And, we know he's a pocket passer, but we also know he has mobility, So it's cool to see it on display, especially at the right time. A lot of times we saw him take that hitch or step up in the pocket, and then he was running too soon. Mm-hmm. This time we see him starting to extend plays. He's still looking downfield, see a few pump fakes, freeze those safeties, those linebackers, and then, get it with your feet. And, he actually broke the golden rule on that last one when he basically stopped in the backfield. Normally you're dead meat anytime you do that. Mm-hmm. And he was able to wiggle out and extend the play and pick up more yards. So shout out to everyone who smashed the over on that one for sure. And then I believe Josh Jacobs hit his over as well on the rushing yards. So good day on the ground when we needed it to be. It looked a little shaky there early, but I think that Jordan and the boys they found rhythm at times. You could see this offense looked well within rhythm. You saw Matt changing up some of the calls, getting the ball out quick. We saw a lot of curl flat routes, kind of things like that. And, it looked good for the offense. And I just really want to give credit to Jordan, man, because, everyone's going to remember the errant throw for the pick there. But that should not define this game at all. We saw a couple of good checks and cams at the line today, too, that was able to extend drives and manufacture yards for us. And I thought he played pretty well.
Yeah. Exactly, Tim. His awareness and his timer in his head were, on point today. I think his timer was great for deciding to run, deciding when to, still try to force it. A couple of those were close, right? That one to Golden where he kind of broke off the route at the very end. It looked like he was going to climb it a little bit more. Saw Jordan was in trouble and just flattened that thing out. Came back to it in that one on Rome where he ran kind of that out route and got underneath the dude before he got blown up. Some good timing, good balls, but I think Love was really cooking today.
Yeah, I thought he played great. And, you see that 74 and you think, okay, is it too generous? Is it not enough? If you consistently grade out the 70s, you're going to end up with an elite grade is what's going to end up. You're going to end up being in the mid to upper 80s by the end of the season. It just seems like every single week Jordan Love is grading out in the 70s on PFF, right? And then, of course, you don't just take that as gospel. Cross-check it with other statistics. EPA, he was leading the league in EPA per dropback. He was he was top 5 in passer rating, right? He was top 10 in completion percent. What else is it, right?
Yeah, even the announcers were saying that, Clay, right?
Yeah. I remember, here, I think it was Trent Green said, he's pretty much top 10 in every statistical category, right?
Absolutely.
Now, the interception was tough, right? In that situation, throw that ball away, right? Get rid of it. But then again, when he makes those plays, we're excited about him, right? Mm-hmm. So it was just tough that he got tipped and conveniently fell in their hands, because I would love to have seen him gone another day without an interception. But that's all about stats more than it is did it truly affect the game that much. And I don't know, did they get points off that pick?
No, they did not. We 3-and-outed them on
Yes.
the next one. Great response from the defense, picking up their offense there after a little mistake.
Yeah. In the middle 8, the Packers won the middle 8 7-0. We lost the turnover differential 1-0, and obviously ended up winning the game 27-18. So you split in those crucial categories. And the big thing that stood out to me was converting on third down early, especially on that first drive. It was just Romeo Dobbs. Every time you need to play, go to Romeo, right? Now you're seeing Matthew Golden getting involved in that. But that play to Matthew Golden on the climb route or the crosser, the fact that Jordan hit him about 6 seconds into that play is exciting to me. You know, the fact that he had enough time to roll left, get over there, and make the play. So Clint, the armchair quarterback with the super chat. Appreciate you, buddy. He says, one word, win. Amen to that, brother. Amen to that.
Put that dub up, baby. Let's go.
Win is a win is a win. You got anything else there, Jacob, or no?
No, I just to your point, when we had that unfortunate start, I believe the defense came back, and correct me if I'm wrong, but did you guys see Bullard flash a few times, just making a tackle for a loss, like coming up and putting his nose in there? Like I feel like we did a pretty decent job today, kind of peppering in the defensive players where it best suits them. Like I saw Cooper make a bunch of plays. I want to say, Cooper had 11 tackles, Quay had 8. Like it seemed like that we were a swarming defense again, and it felt like that the guys were kind of communicating better. And I don't know what it is, if it's just the fact that we played better at home, that would make pretty logical sense and all that. But it to me just was nice to see the guys kind of communicating. I'm sure you'll see a lot of pressures too from Gary and Parsons, but a lot of people in the chat I can see are upset that we didn't get home more than I think it was once with the sack column. But you know what? I mean, I felt like that we honestly controlled this game for the most part, minus a couple drives here and there, and the fact that we didn't capitalize when we should have.
Yeah, and you guys mentioned Bullard. Bullard looks great on short passing, tackling, like you said, helping with the run fit, all that stuff. And again, Clint, thank you for that super chat, man. He does a great job in that regard. But also, you've seen a play where he got a negative mark on my notes here, where it was he was on the slant and it converted on the first down, right? It's just like if he could just put the coverage aspect of his game together, you would see a player that's going to be not above average, but I think a good to very good player. It's just the coverage is so bad. Am I being too critical there, you think?
I know exactly the play. I wasn't terribly mad at that just because it was T. Higgins. He's got strong hands. I mean, Flacco put it on a dart. Same thing happened to Keyshawn on the other side when you threw it to, I think it was Chase, when he came across on the slant, even with hands to the face and all that. I think Bullard played great. The PFF grade had him top 3. He's actually 71-8, 81 run defense, 83 tackling, 51 pass rush, and a 68 coverage. So not terrible, but I texted. That was the first thing I texted you guys. Was like, dude, I love Bull by the line. Anything 5 yards and in, he is a dog. And you got beat on a quick slant. That sucks, but you're going to get those. I think he just needs to keep balling. He played 40 snaps for us out of 65.
Godsmack AR69 with the super chat. Thank you, buddy. He says, love seeing our bruisers, Josh Jacobs, Tucker Kraft get in the end zone. Also, no major unspecial teams poo-poos. All right. In fact, the backup kicker is my MVP for the day. Congrats to that dude. Here's a guy. Now, love the energy, Godsmack. But I put in the in-game chat over on this particular stream, this specific stream here, and I was like, guys, how come we don't give Bisaccia credit when stuff like this happens? You got a kicker you signed off the street, Tim, right?
Yep.
And it's, kicker, they can't. No, it's all about the process. It's all about the, getting on the same page with the hold or the snap. Everybody working as a unit, right? On a short week, essentially, what did Bisaccia do? Put it right together, and the kicker was perfect, right? Yeah. So are we allowed to give him credit for that, or are we just, no, we can't do that? You know what I'm saying? That
You're an amazing person. You know that, don't you?
And again, do I think there's a better coach out there than Bisaccia? There probably is. We'd have to comb through, everybody who's in the unemployment line right now to find them, right? Yep. However, all I'm saying is when something positive happens, can we not give him credit? Why does it always got to be when something positive happens on special teams, everybody goes quiet, and then the second something bad happens, fire Bisaccia's ass, I don't know. It reminded me, it gave me PTSD from Jordan Love's first year as a starter, where he would play great and just be phenomenal. and not everybody, those haters would be quiet. And then all of a sudden, when he had a bad game, you guys remember when they were calling for Sean Clifford?
Yeah.
So
I told him to bring the big red dog out for a second, let him go to the bathroom, and then bring him right back inside because it's just not happening.
And get back in. Right?
It's not happening.
Yep.
H.E. Soda with the super chat. Thank you, buddy. Says consistently hitting 27 with no points off turnovers is an indication of how efficient the offense has been outside of Cleveland. It's a great point, Soda. Those are the hidden numbers that we talk about. You know, Tim, these are the things that don't really stick out when you look at the box score, when you look at all the stat columns. However, when you look at EPA per dropback, EPA per pass, things like that, yards per passing attempt is one of the reasons I love that metric. It shows you truly how efficient the offense is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, especially when, coach is in his bag with the play calls. We saw a little bit of that little razzle-dazzle, little jet sweep action, but it was creative and it was successful. We saw a lot of play action, hit the check down right away and create yards after the catch out of the backfield when the run game kind of stalled a little bit at times early on. And then we also saw the absolute response that we were looking for when your defense, basically forces a 4th and goal after getting sustaining a long drive down the field, and you go right back out there, march down the field, and get that tutter back. That was absolutely huge. I think the offense is efficient and a well-oiled machine. We just want to see it on a more consistent basis, I think, as a fan base, really.
Yeah, I agree. Jacob, you anything to add to that, man?
No, not really. I mean, I think that Tim has been one of the most outspoken people, just being in Jordan Love's corner and thinking about just the way he's progressed. And for whatever reason, even though he made, if you want to call it a boneheaded interception or whatever, I know what he was trying to do. He just was caught up in the moment. If he lets that thing just, if he has another second chance at it, I know he'll probably just throw that thing out of bounds. And we're sitting here talking about how he's probably in the hunt for the MVP still. So just think about little things, little subtleties. I know a lot of people are upset about certain little things that wish we could win by more or whatever. Like Clayton always talks about the NFL every single week. It's a whole different ball game. And the fact that Flacco came in there and he optimized that offense, I'd argue way better than Browning could have, just because he can make all the throws. He's a seasoned vet, like 18 years or whatever. Oh, and then one other really cool stat is that I believe now we have Jacobs has had 23 touchdowns and played 23 games for Green Bay, if my calculations are correct. Yeah, which is pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Love the hidden stats like that. Zach Cruz put a tweet out, said Josh Jacobs had 150 total yards. Jordan Love averaged 10 yards per attempt. The Packers probably should have scored at least 30-plus points, and the Bengals only averaged, listen to this stat, 4.3 yards per play and needed 2 fourth-down conversions to score 18 points. Led 10-0, 24-10, ended up winning by 9. So, again, this is one of those games you look at the score and go, man, how did they kept the Bengals in that game? It wasn't as close as the score would lead you to believe. We got mad at the podium, but every time I go to the live press conference, nobody can hear it, and the viewers just sink out of sight. So I'm just going to stay away from it if that's all right with you guys. I love hearing from the coach, but, man, the audio is so bad. It ain't worth it. So, all right. Anything else you guys want to hit on before we go to the box score and start combing through the stats like a bunch of casuals in here?
Can I
Oh, go ahead, Jacob.
Yeah, sorry. A lot of people in the chat are saying, like what Dr. Gonzo 711 says, there's again a lot of uncalled holds and face masks on Parsons. He was outright tackled on one play late in the fourth. The Packers, I believe, I think this is by far their lowest amount of penalties in a game. Elder Grimm says that only 5 penalties. Ronnie T was definitely not in the stadium, LOL.
Yeah.
That to me is a win there. But the fact that the penalties occurred when they did were still, influential. But did you see the lack of penalties? I would argue, because there's, again, certain times where I'd look down and see Parsons literally with it looked like sumo wrestling, like armbar, like whatever, jujitsu over this guy. And
this is new to us, though, as Packer fans. This has been happening to Micah his entire career. I'm sure there are Cowboy fans that can attest to that we're new to this. But it's obvious, and it's terrible when you see that happen, and you're not going to get them all, right? Can you get at least one or a couple?
Right.
Would be nice. But all in all, I hate to say it, because I won't defend these dirtbag refs very often, but I thought Mr. Allen's crew stayed the hell out of this game for the most part and let the players on the field decide the game. There was a couple of questionable flags. We also saw him pick up a flag, which was shocked the hell out of me that actually happened, and that went our way. So I think the refs didn't really influence the outcome of this one as much as we may have seen in previous games.
Because they could have called a hold there early on Trey Henderson, and the announcers were very vocal about it, right?
Yep.
It just bothers me, but it just feels like the announcers are never vocal when the Packers are being held. It just seems like it's every week. And I know I'm a homer. I get it, but I don't know.
But to be fair, we've really never been a podcast that was like the refs. If anything, like we'll highlight maybe what the crew would be, and then afterwards we kind of just say, you know, it is what it is. Like we really try not to just say, oh, the refs cost us this game.
Right.
To our credit, I will say that.
We'll mention it, but we'll also, right, Emilio, will always point out, but we lost the game because of this too.
Oh yeah, no, you can beat yourself the whole. I mean, the fact that we had double-digit penalties, the first 3 games or whatever, that's a problem. So I'm happy that it was cleaner, but we didn't get calls on both sides. Yeah, I definitely saw some holes on defense, but maybe a couple we got away with on offense there too. So I'm glad it wasn't a flag, flag happy game, because that's even worse, man. I'd much rather, like Jacob saying, just let him play. I mean, Key was handy. That dude got one handy on Romeo there when he was tugging on the jersey. So you'll have those, but I think it was a good game.
Just let them play through it on both sides, right?
Right,
That's,
exactly. You gotta call it fair that way.
Right. I can deal with that. I just can't deal with it when it feels like, damn, they're calling everything on us, but they're letting everything else go. And I'm sure other fan bases feel the same way too. And I will say this, that last comment we had, every Cowboy fan I know, I was prepared for this with Parsons, because they talked about it, like you said, Jacob, constantly, that they're not going to call holding for him, dude. He gets held every play, and they will not call it. And, yeah, IROC makes a great point here. He says Zach Tom looked great, seems healthy, right? Did you guys see one play where you were like, oh, Tom got beat there? He looks like he's a little banged up. Did you see any?
Early. That was early, first quarter, I think.
Yeah, when they rushed 3 and it was Morgan or Ryan's helped him for a second and got off, and then Tom either lost his footing or something, and they rushed 3, and that's when Jordan dumped it, I think, to Emmanuel, and we lost 4.
Yeah, he looks like a guy who hasn't played football in 3 weeks.
Yeah, right. I mean, that's one play. The rest of it, I think he had a great game
for sure.
Going to get better as the season goes.
They had him at a 75 pass blocking on 35 snaps, so.
Yeah, he settled in, finished that game.
2 hurries. Yeah, 2 hurries is what they had him on.
Michael in the chat says, some people will complain, but I'm happy with the win. Of course, they have plenty of room to improve, but it was good to see Jacobs have a big day. And we were kind of talking about that leading up to the game, right? Is Jordan going to have the big game? Is it going to be Jacobs? And I talked about the pregame. I would kind of rather it be Josh Jacobs to get that running game going. And essentially what this does, Tim, Emilio, it gives you a notch on your belt, right? The offensive line is going to come out of this game going, all right, boys, we ran the ball. We can run the ball. We can run the ball. And I know I mentioned in our chat, I want to see more true flow. I want to see more true wide zone runs, and they're just not going to it. So Matt's going, listen, boys, you're going to figure this out. We're running a rock between the tackles.
And it looked pretty good. We saw Jordan Morgan and Elton Jenkins just create a hole you could drive a truck through for a 14-yard Josh Jacobs touchdown. And that's exactly what we want to see, right? And I think you're right, Clayton. It might just be a point of emphasis that Matt has a plan of what they want to do running the football. And, we didn't really see – did you see any duo today? I saw a little bit of duo, but I didn't – you're right. Nothing really off the tackle or outside zone or anything. Yeah.
Yeah, so to me, like the play that I highlighted with Jordan Morgan, that looked like, according to Tom Brady, that would be duo. I need to go back and watch the tape, the end zone cam. Duo is supposed to be 2 double teams and then vertical displacement to the backers, right?
Yep.
Tom Brady refers to 1 double team where they get to the next level. So that's like 90% of inside zone runs. Right. So I'm not going to sit here and go, Tom Brady doesn't know what duo. Are you kidding me? Like the greatest quarterback in the history of the game. But so maybe it is just common knowledge that duo is 1. If you get 1 double team block getting to the next level, it's essentially zone. But it's supposed to be double vertical power is what it's supposed to be. So, but nonetheless, that one play, Tim, was the one that I noticed. I don't know how much duo we ran. We'll find out when we get into chalk talk later in the week.
Do you want to know who was the best graded run blocking so far for PFF?
No, I do, Emilio.
Can you get a guess? I'm going to get one person from each of you real quick.
The number 1 run blocking offensive line.
No, I was going to just
overall player.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Number 1 overall blocker. I'm going to say
Malik Heath.
That's what I was going to say, Malik Heath.
Mr. What?
I'm gonna go with Elton Jenkins.
Oh, I love it, Tim. Close. Mr. Malik Heath, Mr. Water Cooler himself with a 75, followed up closely by Matthew Golden with a 74-1. Okay, and then Rasheed Walker with a 72-2.
Wow,
Did you just say Matthew Golden?
74. He can block. Matthew Golden, he can block.
I believe it.
He can block. I'm telling you, he must have been talking to Christian before the game.
You heard it from a fan right here.
The Armchair Quarterback gifting 10 Packer Fan Total Access memberships. That's 10 lucky viewers that just randomly got picked, and you will be entered into the giveaway next week. We're going to be giving away an autographed Marshawn Lloyd rookie card here in just a second. So when we get ready to wrap the show up, not just a second. But, yeah, appreciate that, Clint. You're the man, buddy. You're always too generous to us. And just know, guys, when you guys do those donos whether it's a normal dono or whether it's joining the Patreon community, you're doing a super chat, you're gifting memberships, that's what keeps this thing rolling, man. That's what pays for the equipment. That's what pays to keep this thing on track. Keeps the lights on around here. That's where I'm from, coal keeps the lights on. But out here, man, you know how it is. It's the super chats and everything and the gifted memberships keep it on here with the Patreon group. So, Jacob, anything else you want to hit on before we get in the box score? We can keep on chatting like this. I'm enjoying it, man.
I just was going to ask, and I'm putting you guys on the spot right now, so I'm sorry about this. But as I'm watching this game, as I'm going into halftime, I just realized that, halftime, I don't really watch the halftime show anymore. I used to love watching the halftime analysis. Would the chat and would you guys ever want to be into just having, us do a quick, literal 5 to 6, 7 minute, halftime breakdown of a Packer game? And would that be beneficial? Would anybody like that? I don't know. That's what I'm.
Dude, I love the idea of it. But my halftime show, you know what my halftime show was tonight?
Taking the dogs outside,
run to the bathroom and pee.
Andy was still in Florida, so I had to run downstairs and feed the dogs. So I had to feed 4 dogs, get all their food situated, separate them, make sure they weren't killing each other. Run over, use the restroom real quick, grab a drink, come back. So it would be hard for me, Jacob, but part of me wants to. I've said this before. Part of me wants to do a live stream during the game and just have it up on the screen. And if we want to pop in at any moment and chat, and the chat's running constantly, but we're not on the screen the entire time, I think that would be a cool thing to do. The problem is I read the chat during the game, and I want to physically harm people. And if I am live on the air, it's probably not going to be good, man. Again, and I'm not saying I'm right in my stance and disagreeing with other people's live chatting and comments on the game. I just know how my temper is, and that's why I don't like to do that stuff somewhat live. A halftime show sounds – if we're winning, Jacob, sounds great. If we're losing, I don't know, man. Might be worth it just to stay away. King Tron with the super chat. Did LVN get carted off the field tonight? Did he?
I did not see that.
I saw that somebody said he apparently had a foot injury, is what Holmes is saying.
Damn, that sucks. Let me see if I can comb through. You guys talk amongst yourselves.
That's
Well, I was actually going to bring up his sack. Do you see how he was shot out of a cannon?
Oh, yeah.
I believe he was in that 3-point stance, just absolutely. At first, I thought, oh, he's offsides, and then they did the replay, and I'm like, no, he timed that absolutely perfectly, and that was the only time that I saw, a clear-cut case where Flacco had nowhere to go, couldn't even release the ball as quickly as he wanted. What did you think about that, fellas?
That was amazing because he basically just beat the left tackle like a drum with speed, and then basically undercut the arm. So it's like,
was that Bloom, Orlando Bloom, or whatever his name was?
Brown.
Brown.
Yeah. I mean, he couldn't even get a hand on LVN.
Orlando Bloom.
He just kind of ducked under that left arm and was already on Joe Flacco. I mean, that was sheer force. Yeah, shot out of a cannon is exactly what that was. Great rep for LVN. You love to see it finally, right?
Got that information. Lucas Van Ness was carted off to the locker room. He had his right shoe off, and then Zach Cruz came in 28 seconds ago. MRI tomorrow for LVN. Has a sore foot. Matt LaFleur doesn't think he has a fracture. Again, he does not think he has a fracture, so maybe we dodged a bullet there. Carry on.
LVN.
When did that happen?
What is this? Is this right, too? Ed Madden saying LVN foot, Wick's ankle, and bold concussion.
That would be brutal. Don't love to hear that.
Go ahead, Emilio. Give us something positive.
I was going to say LVN graded out as the second highest pass rush behind Micah Parsons. Micah at a 69.8, LVN 67.5. But what reminded me of that was Micah's interview during the week saying, hey, it's all about the hunt. It's about the chase. And LVN getting a little bit of that drive. You're not going to get there every time, 15 pass rushes, but you got that one. And I'm happy for him. But just for Micah's sake, 58 snaps out of a total 65 for the defense. 58 snaps from an edge rusher that we did pay a lot of money to. I'm super happy that it's week 6 and dude's already out there. You're basically out snapping at everyone there. Rashawn at 40 snaps.